It's That Nerd Ryan here. Welcome to the new year. This is gonna kind of be the last 2024 theme or 2023 themed video coming right now, and it's because it's the December 2023 Star Wars comic recap. So I know yesterday Marvel Day changed to Superhero Day, but Star Wars Day is staying Star Wars. I've never been a fan of Star Trek, so we're not going to make a Star Day for Tuesday. But yeah, so we got the end of Dark Droids. Got it all sitting here. There is a D-Squad 4 that came out. I was trying to figure that out yesterday. Revelations, which is like the kind of end-of-year preview, you know. And then you got the High Republic stuff coming right here for Phase 3. So let's go ahead and get into it. First one we're going to cover is right here, which is Star Wars number 41. So the team is in the thick of battle. Chewie is using his teeth. The Scourge sends his bugs out to attack them, and they begin to change. The Scourge is then stopped by Ajax, and the team is freed. They find Lobot, who is dying along with a bunch of other people, finally waking up. Lando and Chewie take him to the Falcon as Luke and Leia stay behind. Lando reveals he has the old bot to Chewie, so it can fix Lobot. Leia and Luke show up and question Lando, and the droid doesn't want to help. Lando confesses his betrayal and saves Lobot. Lando is arrested and court-martialed for treason, which will continue in the next issue. It is 8 out of 10 for me for that one. Next is D-Squad number 4, which is right there. The team is battling on Ryloth as R2 tries to save KT. She comes back only for 000 to ruin the moment as they continue fighting. The team head to see Jabba, and R2 puts on a disguise to fit in. The Falcon is already parked there. They infiltrate the palace and run into Lando, who shoots at them. R2 and KT run into all the infected droids. They get the coordinates as R2 distracts them and heads off to Mechas. After 4-LOM loses his bet with IG because he was betting that they wouldn't make it, they find and recruit Ajax, which leads into Dark Droids number 5. But anyways, we have High Republic Adventures number 1, which is right here. Zine is performing a song for the Fallen when she sees Lula and breaks down and yells at the droid. The year has passed and Court and Zine are mourning still. Markion is running amok with the Nile still as well. They scan through files to try to find Lula. Zine is now an actual Jedi and actually bloodthirsty. They head to Bracourt, I believe it's pronounced. The team finds a bunch of other Mickeyans trying to storm the fortress, since there was a announcement from Anile to all Mickeyans to find the thing that they're looking for. Obviously, it was targeted towards Lula. The team finds they're going to storm a fortress, and they decide to help. This Nile is protected by Pauians. Zine uses the rush of as a distraction and breaks in and confronts the Nile, who is actually possibly Lula. I gave that one a 5 out of 10. It was kind of everywhere. Next is Hyperspace Stories number 12, which is right here. Refugee ship is running from an Imperial blockade. The ship is about to go down as an engineer named Bash is trying to repair it during the evacuation. He finds a kid and takes him to an escape pod, but the kid gives him her doll on accident. He shoots down some ties and makes it to the escape pod, which crash lands. He ends up being assigned to the Falcon after not being able to find the girl and headed back to the fleet. He sets the doll in the cockpit as a good luck charm. The events of Return of the Jedi play out. The crew finds the doll in the cockpit and gives it back, but it is ripped, revealing the plans to an ancient location. Leia ends up donating the doll after repairing it. I gave that a 7 out of 10. It was kind of nice, kind of cool. Next is Bounty Hunters number 41, which is this one right here. Losha is at the aftermath of the droid attack and is met by Hayden. She gives Losha the memories which will not include her and leaves. Corrupted Valance is experimenting on humans and succeeding. He starts with Tonga, but she breaks out. She frees Zuckuss and begins to fight back. Tonga can't bring herself to kill Valance, though, even though she knows he's truly gone. Toka Cats come in with thermal detonators to save the day. Losha arrives to save the day and save Valance. They bring him back, and he makes a last stand against the droids, except he does survive the last stand, and is welcomed back with a hug, which was a really touching moment to see. They reconcile, and Valance asks for one last mission. I gave that one an 8 out of 10. Next is Shadows of Starlight, which is this one right here, number 3. Bell is still staring at Starlight Beacon 5 days after the fall. He discusses the definition of home and grief with Elazar. Bell decides to stay to find Buri Yaga. 6 weeks later, Bell finds Buri and they regroup with some sailors. They head back to Coruscant to regroup with the rest of the Jedi. They reunite with Ember and Master Stokes. Buri and Bell become Jedi Knights. Even if they didn't want to, it was due to the protocol, which is the same reason why Anakin became a Jedi Knight, by the way. Bell begins to research Marchion Ro to a concerning level of obsession. Buri takes time with the younglings to help them process what's going on. Bell goes off to stop the Nile, and Buri decides to join last minute. They head to Asterin and are ambushed by Nile, which the Nile have Sabbat cards that show different Jedi, kind of like in Transformers Age of Extinction, the poker cards that are Transformers, which is also a real-life CIA thing from the Cold War, which I thought was a really cool reference. The Nile have new tech that disables lightsabers. The Grandmaster makes a last stand and uses Shojun, a force-based fighting style. He is, however, stopped as Bell and Barry get away. I gave that one an 8 out of 10. Next is Darth Vader 41, which is right here. So, I scrolled too far, sorry. Vader and the Scourge merge through Vader's will. Vader uses the Disruptor to only allow the Scourge into him and not connect to its other cells. He reverse engineers the tech to build his army to attack Palpatine. He is then attacked by Imperial forces for treason. Vader uses the infected droids to extend his force abilities, so basically anything he can see through the droids. After wiping out the threat, the Scourge droids appear to fight and overtake Vader. Vader wipes them out and steals a ship, only for more to show up to attack. Vader's mind cannot handle so many droids at once, and the Scourge is using that to its advantage, but Vader finishes them all off and maintains control, which we then are introduced to a post-credit scene of the Schism Imperial, which I gave a 9 out of 10 for that one. Next is High Republic number 2, which is right here. Keeve remembers her initiation day as she is getting her mind read. Scaraba the Hutt wants revenge due to her sister, Migra's death. Tarek survived the crash and is now fighting on the ground with Republic reinforcements. Tarek actually managed to take the Nameless out by crashing into it. Tarek starts to engage this character known as the Child of the Storm, as Lorna insults Marchion and tries to execute Keeve. The truth exposes Lorna as the murderer of Maegra, and Sabarka shoots, hard to pronounce these names, shoots at her. While she does, Lorna dodges and lights a detonator. Keeve keeps the hut as Keeve saves the hut as Lorna escapes. Tarek is about to die again when he is saved by a foot soldier. The Child of the Storm turns out to be malformed due to Keeve's old master, Skier. I gave that one an 8 out of 10 as well. Next, we got Dr. Aphra 39, which is right here. The Tage ship is under siege by the Scourge. Domenia leaves herself on the ship and saves Lapin Tag to be the next heir. Aphra and crew head to Canto Bight to save Lucky's brother. After dropping off Lucky, Aphra programs a virus to help slow down the Scourge. It is spread so thin that it is falling apart. The Scourge wants Domenia so it can fix itself, but she claims to have a kill switch in her body. Aphra and Sana begin their rescue mission as it begins to experiment on Domenia. They launch an EMP and Domenia tells Aphra to kill her if she begins to turn. Aphra fakes being with Sana and Domenia, then light speeds the Tage ship away. She sacrifices herself by light speeding into a planet. Supposedly. I gave that one an 8 out of 10. We do have one more issue. It could be a morning issue, but you never know. Next is Revelations number 1, or Revelations 2023. So we see a court case in the first story that is using a Jedi mind trick defense. The case defendant is Dengar. Truth was that he was drunk and caused mayhem. His sentence is a fine and labor. Lando ends up calling the lawyer for a favor. Next one is again about Dengar being drunk in a bar with Arioli and Lucky. Razzling Grace shares her story of her greatest hunt. Apparently the hunt involved a pet Nexu guarding the targets. She beat the Nexu and kills the targets for the hunt. Her next target is Dr. Aphra, which again, kind of weird. If she's dead, why would she have a target? The next story was about Jango Fett, who is finding a target who stole a gaming machine. Jango is attacked by a creature that was stolen from a zoo. The current target is actually a lead for the actual bounty, and we also find out that Aurra Sing is hunting Jango. Will be continued in Jango Fett number 1, which I'm really excited for. So the next story is Mace Windu is undercover on a prison complex. He tracks down the warden named Matis Kodo. The warden helped another prison have a prison break. The skeleton key is getting away, so Mace runs through the Aqualock and swims up. And that's where that one ends. So basically, Revelations is all previews, by the way. Vader is reprogramming Death Troopers to be more obedient to him. He begins testing battle droids in a scrimmage against rebels and seeing how they can improve. Vader seeks out the strongest rebels to change and augment them into his slaves, which is ironic being that Vader was a slave. Next one is High Republic story for Revelations, which Kiva is on the search for Avar, Assassin's Creed playing in my head. In finding a commotion, she finds a man who isn't a Jedi wielding a lightsaber. Keeve helps the man as Anile attacks, and they defeat them together. Next one is, I believe, Jabba the Hutt. So Bane Malar is picking up a bounty. The bounty is Rick Duel, who is now Jabba's top lieutenant. And this is kind of just basically a joke, because the guy's a joke. And he's set up for another job after turning his last one in. I gave that one a 7 out of 10. Like I said, it was all previews. I never was a really big fan of Revelations, but Revelations also brings in, stuff from... it has scenes that we don't get to see in the comics. And finally, we have Dark Droids number 5. The Scourge finally goes on a offensive for the first time, as it claims. It claims the Spark Eternal is helping expand better than last time, and that ensuing chaos is helping it feel better since it's starting to stretch thin. So every droid that dies, it feels a little bit better. D-Squad and Ajax plot on how to kill the Scourge. It has stretched way too thin, and it begins trying into the crossover comics. As everyone attacks, it is able to infect its first human. It infects the main Star Wars cast as well as some other cast members from the other runs. It learns of the Force through Luke and wishes to become the new Force. Ajax stops it by stabbing it. The Scourge dying ends up kind of ending all the infection like Phantom Menace. and Ajax scavenged the Spark Eternal to build into a envisioned robot, as well as repurposing the brainwash droids to kind of brainwash people into joining his religion, which is ironic. I gave it a 8 out of 10. So yeah, a lot of comics this month. Finally happy to see Dark Droids end. It was a good run, but I mean, we had a lot in that, and it felt weird. It didn't feel like something that would happen in the time frame between Empire and Return of the Jedi. But yeah, so we'll get back on February with the January comics. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and follow me on all my social media down below. It's That Nerd Ryan.